to his lovely wife, Charlotte, to all the ministers, to all of you, God's children. It's good to be here.
Amen. Yes, it is.
To my darling wife, she keep on bragging about how much weight she lost. And she's already looking good. Now she's looking gooder and gooder. And on the way to church, I told her, said, you better watch wearing that dress with that little split. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And to my big girl, to those of you who have your Bible, if you will, just for a few moments, go with us to the book of Luke. Luke, the 5th chapter. And we want to look at verse number 11. Luke, the 5th chapter, verse 11. And if you're reading from the King James Version, you will find these words written. And when they had brought their ships to land, they forsook all and followed him. And when they had brought their ships to land, they forsook all and followed him. Just for a few moments, we want to talk on this subject. Hooked on Jesus. Hooked on Jesus. To Sister English, in order to live that life without limits, you must be hooked on Jesus. To Dr. Martin, in order to enjoy that change that will come, you must be hooked on Jesus. To Dr. Gordon, in order to be able to praise under pressure, you must be hooked on Jesus. Can I get a witness? When one usually uses this expression, they are not making the reference to being hooked on the Lord. I am conscious of the fact that this is a common expression that is frequently used in reference to those who may have serious problems. Can I get a witness? with either alcohol or drugs. And this expression is most often used regarding persons who fall into one of those categories. The expression hooked. Can I get a witness? Asserts that at some given point and time in life, the average individual become overwhelmed and greatly attached to something. And we will either find ourselves overwhelmed and greatly attached to either something or someone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Lord.
Can I get a witness? During the course of the average lifetime, but the expression hooked is one that I have devoted much thought to. For any time an individual is hooked on something, it is necessary that which he had hooked himself to has, rather than we having it, and you need to be careful as to what you allow yourself to hook up to. Can I get a witness? We need to be mindful and very cautious about what we allow ourselves to be captivated by, and what we allow ourselves to literally be swept off by. Satan is a master fisherman, and he fishes for the souls. Can I get a witness? He fishes for the soul of men and women, boys and girls. And he baits his hook with that which proved to be attractive and appealing to each one of us. Can I get a witness? No fish in its right mind bites a naked hook. Can I get a witness? Things are done with the hook and to the hook to make the hook more attractive. Can I get a witness? And baits are used by the fisherman to either disguise the hook or to hide the very appearance of the hook. Can I get a witness? Any knowledgeable fisherman baits the hook with what he knows fish are most likely to bite. Can I get a witness? Now, don't fool yourself. Satan knows what you will bite at. Can I get a witness? He knows what bait we find attractive. Can I get a witness? And he baits the hook with that he knows that is appealing to us. Permit me, please, to talk a little about him who desires the destruction of your soul. Let me say a word about the arch enemy of everyone seated here in this church. Satan has no friends. And he baits hooks to ensure us of that. He has no real friend. So many lives have been ruined by baits, by his traps, and have found themselves ensnared and have found it difficult and almost impossible to break free. Can I get a witness? I want to tell you this evening that when we look at being hooked, in the general sense of the word, today on alcohol or any form of narcotics and drugs, many lives have been ruined. All because someone ended up hooked by the wrong thing. Can I get a witness? And I want to tell you today that some who find themselves hooked on drugs and alcohol, just to mention a few of the tragic but yet true things that Satan throw out, ruins and have befallen many families that have been torn apart, homes wrecked and in ruin, marriages destroyed, all because someone was hooked on the wrong thing. Can I get a witness? And I've come to discover that which hooks you can affect your attitude. Can I get a witness? That which hooked you can affect your personality and the disposition of individual and people can act in terrible fashion when they are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. These tragic and detrimental tools are only a few of the numerous hooks and traps that Satan has for all of us. Can I get a witness? And he loves to hook you when you are young. He loves to hook young men and young women whose lives are filled with promises and potentials to ruin their lives before their lives have a chance to truly get started. Jails are overfilled. Prisons are overrun. Graveyards are filled with many who fell victim to those snares and those various traps set by Satan, our arch enemy. Once he gets you hooked, he reels you in. And he reels you beyond the place and the position that you once were. And you find yourself doing and saying things and acting in a way that you thought you never would. But I'm glad to report that not only can one be hooked on Satan's evil devices and instruments, but I'm glad to report that it is possible to become hooked on Jesus. Can I get a witness? I know that the term hook is not the clinical term. The clinical term is addicted. Can I get a witness? But the common expression is hooked or strung out. No one ever becomes an alcoholic who never took a drink. You got to deal with it. You got to have contact or experiment with it. Can I get a witness? No one ever becomes a drug addict without some contact or some dealing with it. No one will ever become addicted or hooked on Jesus without some contact. Can I get a witness? Or some dealing with him. You got to get close to him. And I think I ought to tell you, some scientists say that it's in the gene that causes some people to have an unquenchable thirst and urge for liquor. I'm told that crack cocaine. I'm told that crack cocaine can hook you and is the quickest of addicting drugs. But I want to tell you, just one experience with Jesus can change your life. Can I get a witness? Or turn your life completely and totally around. And you don't have to walk with the Lord 50 or 60 years to get hooked on him. I met him one Thursday night in an old revival meeting. And I left that revival hooked on Jesus. Can I get a witness? Jesus had a potency. Jesus had a power. And I dare you to get close to Jesus. Things will start to happen when you get close to Jesus that you never experienced before. And he will change anyone's life for the better. It is not common the first of the year for individuals to make a New Year's resolution. Can I get a witness? To resolve that they are going to do things better the new year. Things better than the year they done the years past. Some parents resolve that they are going to devote more time to their family and children. Can I get a witness? And some children make resolution that they are going to do better in their grades and in their schoolwork. Some make resolutions that they are going to stop smoking. Some make resolution they are going to lose weight. The new year, our world would change if people would make up their minds in a serious fashion just to get hooked on Jesus. What a different this world would be in the year of 2015 if the people and the various nations of this world decide to get hooked on Jesus. Our text tonight talk about some men that was out fishing, And these men have fished all night long. And in their effort to catch something, they ended up in failure. They fished all night long. And every move they made ended up as a failure. But as they come back to land, and it said they brought, and when they had brought their ships to land, they forsook all, and they followed him. Now, don't kid yourself. This is the first time that Peter, James, and John had laid their eyes on Jesus. They did not know who he was, and Jesus began dialoguing with them. And he asked them the question, what are you doing? And they said, well, we've been fishing, and we fished all night long, and we was unable to catch anything. And he told them, so I tell you what, just go back to where you was. Now, you know a stranger coming to you telling you to go back to where you was, especially when you are professionals, fishermen. Go back to where you was. They went back, and the story is, when they went back to where they was, Jesus came into play. They caught more fishes than they ever caught in their lives. All because they was hooked on Jesus. Can I get a witness? Jesus is a powerful thing. All you got to do is just get close to him. Can I get a witness? After they went back to where they was, the record is that they caught more fish than they ever caught before. Can I get a witness? A lot of time we get discouraged because we failed the first time. But I stopped by to tell you that Jesus wants us to do it all over again. Not only that, he wants you to try and try again. Don't give up to your failure. Can I get a witness that they finally brought the ship to land? And can I get a witness? And became servant for the Lord. Mary Magdalene was a woman of the streets, but something changed her life when she came in contact with a man named Jesus. She gave up the streets and became a servant for the Lord. All because she got hooked on Jesus. Matthew was a tax collector, but he had laid down his books, stopped scheming and cheating, all because he got hooked on Jesus. The woman of Samaria who met Jesus at the well had been with so many women's husbands. For Jesus told her, you have 5 husbands. And the one you have now is not yours. She got hooked on Jesus, dropped her water pot, and went running through the streets, crying out, "Come see a man who told me everything that I had done." Somebody here can be a witness that I was a wrecked, undone. I was lost and sinking in sin. I was on my way to a burning hell. But one day, before it was too late, I got hooked on Jesus. And ever since that day, my life had never been the same. For once I was lost in sin, but Jesus took me in, and he shined a little light from heaven on my soul. He filled my heart with love, and he wrote my name above. Just a little talk with Jesus would make everything all right. When you get hooked on those other drugs, it costs you. Some folk will spend all that they have just to get another fix. Can I get a witness? But I stopped by to tell you that if you get hooked on Jesus, you can say like the words of a song, "Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me." When you are hooked on Jesus, you can pray for those who despitefully uses you. Can I get a witness? When you're hooked on Jesus, you can bless them that curse you. Is there anyone here that know that you got hooked on Jesus? For I remember a song that we used to sing down home. Can I get a witness? I went to a meeting one night, and my heart wasn't right, but something got a hold of me. For I'm a living witness that if you're hooked on Jesus, something will pick you up. If you're hooked on Jesus, something will turn you around. If you're hooked on Jesus, something will place your feet on solid ground. Can I get a witness? If you are hooked on Jesus, you can love your enemies. If you're hooked on Jesus, you can love those who despitefully use you. Can I get a witness? Is there anybody here that ever been hooked on Jesus? Can I get a witness? If you're hooked on Jesus, you can walk in the newness of life. For I'm a living witness that if you get hooked on Jesus, everything will be all right.
Praise God. Amen.
Just a closer walk with